Welcome to Checkpoint Chat abroad.
Abroad from wait, what episode?
We're on the 71.
71.
Yeah.
Close. Yeah, we've taken it to another country.
Taking it on the road.
Wait, my mic's too low.
The road is Matty's house.
You know what? It crossed my mind yesterday. In 71 episodes, we've never done a recording here.
I know, it's kind of weird actually.
So when you asked, I was like, yeah, would be nice to not have to drive.
I do remember at first we were like, oh, we can alternate. One weekend your house, one weekend my house. And then I think we thought about it. We were like, man, that's a lot of work.
No, it is. Even today, it's like bringing the equipment. I know it's not a lot, but it's an admin thing.
It is like having to pack it all up and then reset it up somewhere.
And then you have the risk of leaving an open bag behind you which you might find a cat stepping in. So
I'll take it home.
You got to be careful of the bag.
See, I feel bad that you have to drive to me every weekend, but then also I feel happy that I don't have to repack all this.
Yeah. No, look, I don't mind the drive. It's good podcast time, good music time, good chill time.
But you drive a lot during the week, so I feel bad.
Do I? We probably travel. We commute the same amount during the week.
I don't know. I travel to the car train station, so it's not that bad.
Okay, how long does it take you to get to work from your place?
Like the entire trip?
The full trip. So from you getting your car to the car train to walking to the office.
So now that I drive a bit more reasonably to the car train, it takes me about 20 minutes to the car train station. Mm-hmm. And then from the car train station, if I don't have to wait for the train, if I time it perfectly, it's about like 12, 15 minutes.
God damn, it's already 35 minutes.
And then walking from the station to Discovery is about 10 minutes. 15 minutes.
45 minutes there and back.
But it's broken up in different phases, so it doesn't feel that long. Yeah. And the walk is really nice. I like having a 15-minute walk before I sit down to work and then a 15-minute walk
back.
Go back. Yeah,
no, that's
it's a nice relaxing time.
You're living your best European life.
I hit all my goals on my Apple Watch every day just because I walk so much.
Walk all the Pokemons. That's good.
Yes,
get all the eggs.
I catch so many Pokemon eggs now. It's crazy.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, my commute takes a good 30 minutes flat. So like it never changes because there are so many robots between the office and my place.
I actually thought it would take you longer from here.
No, it's half an hour, and I mean whether there's traffic or not, it's because of the robots. It's always like half an hour on average.
Parkhurst?
No, I go sort of via Rosebank past Hyde Park. And
you go down Jan Smuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And although I don't go down Jan Smuts, it's back roads, but it's alongside Jan Smuts.
Yeah, because there's a lot of construction happening there now.
Yeah.
I had to weave past a lot of I don't know, they're doing roadworks and they've got like a lot of sand and rocks on the pavements, but it's just spilling over into the road, and it's like, this is real dangerous.
I'm playing dirt rally.
Yeah.
Do you drift?
Yes, of
course.
How else do you drive?
Not like that.
This is like Tokyo. we Tokyo drifting here.
Joburg
best
drift.
Fast and the Furious.
Joburg drift. Oh wow! I saw it in the cinema once, and then I've never seen it again.
Tokyo Drift. So you've only watched it once.
I've only watched it once.
Man, your life.
In fact, the whole Fast franchise
I'm not a huge fan of it, but Tokyo Drift.
But there's a whole cinematic universe.
It's crazy.
They even have a spin-off with Hobbs and Shaw. And
that looked stupid.
No, it looked like fun. I don't know how good it was in terms of story.
See, I haven't watched any of the movies where they were even introduced, so I don't even know them.
Oh, so you watched it? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't watched it.
Okay,
No.
I was going to say, because I think they are big parts in like the last 3 to 5.
Yeah,
Fast
I remember
movies.
The Rock was introduced, and then he was a bad guy, and then he was a good guy, or Jason Statham was a bad guy, and he was a good guy, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Something.
Then they brought Han back, which makes no sense.
Did they bring him back?
Well, like, there were a lot of films that apparently took place before Tokyo Drift, which makes absolutely zero sense when you look at the cars featured in any of the films.
Yeah.
Because time passed.
It just as they aged. It was a great time.
Was it you that sent that photo yesterday, or was it Curvin? I think it was like, this is what they were stealing in the first Fast and Furious film.
No,
it was like,
was that on the group?
Yeah, and it was like TVs with inbuilt VCR machines.
Oh, and now it's like, how did that happen?
The movies are. It's crazy.
Oh, that makes sense because the first Fast was
like 99, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like around the time
2000.
Need for Speed Underground came out. It was almost like around the same time. That was when street racing was like, this is cool.
It was the best marketing campaign for Need for Speed that you could have ever gotten.
That was really good. Look, I enjoyed them, but it's that thing's just taken off now. It's its own
It-
universe
it's
with
its own
4
thing.
million movies.
I think every now and then they ask a director or franchise person like if it'll ever go to space, and they're like, "We're not ruling it out." Like,
what?
fucking zero gravity.
They're gonna race.
drifts
They're
in
gonna
the
race.
moon.
Yeah. Well, have
hell
you
yeah.
seen Star Wars Episode 1, pod racing?
It's
Same
still
same
one of the
universe.
best parts of that, Matt. You watched The Last Jedi, right?
Yes.
So you know when they're in the casino and
Yes.
then everything's like rattling and they're like, "What's that?" I was like, "Oh my fuck!"
boy.
They brought back pod racing,
And they
it's just
didn't.
like stupid horse racing.
Nay.
Come on, like this dumb, like weird.
They should have bought pod racing.
Man, if
back.
it was pod, that I still think that's like the biggest missed opportunity of that film. It's just
yeah,
like
now that you mention
so
it,
many
it's like
brownie points.
People like Episode 1, mixed reactions.
Mm.
Okay, mostly this movie sucks, if we're being honest. But the pod racing, universally acclaimed,
Praised,
like
yeah.
really cool. So
I actually liked a lot of Episode 1. There's just that part in like the sort of middle when it's like, we just had this awesome pod race. Now we're going to talk about politics for half an hour. And then we go back to one of the best lightsaber fights in Star Wars film history.
I watched that movie in primary school, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, damn, this is some good shit.
shit's good.
It's really good. Upon rewatching, I was like, that's a lot of politics in a Star
Yeah, it's,
That's a lot of trade wars and federation chat in a
when
Star
you've
Wars
just come
movie.
down from like this pod racing scene, which is incredible.
Oh my god! And then
And
it's
then,
got
I mean, when I was a kid, I watched Episode 2, that Attack of the Clones, and even
Yeah.
then I was like, this is shit. I hate that movie so much.
like, damn, this movie.
I think it's the worst Star Wars movie, like, by a mile. It's just so boring.
yeah. Although it's the first Star Wars movie we see Yoda actually do some stuff. But even
That's
then,
true. The fight at the end is pretty cool.
yeah. But even then, people are like, oh no, we don't want to see Yoda do that. But it's like it's kind of cool to see this.
It was cool.
You know, because looking at him when he was little, like, how can
how
this be a
does he
Jedi
fight? Yeah,
master?
how's he the master? Yeah.
And then they show him fight, like, damn, all those forward flips, some of them unnecessary. He like jumps on a rock, does a flip, and does an attack. I'm like, okay, that is a bit flashy, you know.
yeah,
but,
he's
but,
just showing off at that
but you
point.
know, you get finesse points, but force points also, yeah.
Have you ever
pretty
noticed
high.
that Yoda in the movies kind of like never wins a fight? Like he fights Dooku, he doesn't do it. He doesn't actually stop him. And he fights Palpatine, doesn't actually stop him.
Yeah, he's too old, man.
And he also, like, he doesn't kind of lose to Palpatine. He just kind of, like, gives up. He's just like, I failed, and he runs away. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Who are you? Where's this Jedi
Imagine
master?
he had killed him then. We wouldn't have had 4, 5, and 6.
I know, that would have been the end, and we wouldn't even have had the end of the this last trilogy. So I'm being distracted by a wild loop.
I'm excited for the last one in December.
I can't believe we waited 2 years for that.
Yeah.
It's about time.
And then after that, Star Wars is taking like a 4-year break. I think.
But then
till
they're
the
like,
next ones.
then
New
it's
trilogy.
completely standalone.
Game of Thrones writers making a new trilogy.
Oh boy,
And
spoiler.
Rian Johnson making a new trilogy. Yeah. Interesting. Do you think
spoiler,
they'll make a
the-
good first episode and then just forget about it?
I was just gonna say the first 2 episodes will be great, and the third one's gonna rush through everything.
Maybe the White Walkers will come back. It's all connected.
Isn't there a spin-off comic where? I'm sure there's a spin-off comic where they introduce zombies into the Star Wars universe.
I'm almost certain there is.
That would be cool.
There was an episode of Star Wars Rebels where they got to a planet and there was this worm thing that like the worms would ingest in people and turn them into like mindless zombies.
Goddamn.
And so yeah, close enough, I guess. Wow, you just
Zombies.
rejected Lupin's love. He's like,
I
wow.
got pants on. He leaves hair. Sorry. This is very
But it's black
distracting.
hair, so-
Never had a cat on the podcast.
This is why we don't podcast here.
Goddamn, Lupin, why are you like this?
He's like, I'm on your streams. I want to be on the
He
podcast.
is. He sometimes pops up. It was funny. The one stream, someone was busy watching. Like, is that a gargoyle behind you? And I look, it's just Lupin sitting on the couch, just watching.
I remember
just
one
out
of your
of
early
frame.
ones, him like knocking over your microphone.
Oh, that
which
was
really
Luna.
funny. Oh, was that Luna?
Luna.
Yes, what a bitch.
Yeah, that whore.
If you didn't know, this chick from chat talk about cats and video games
And Star Wars.
and Star Wars.
Star Wars often pops up, I think.
Star Wars and video games are going to overlap soon because there's that one coming out in November that looks real
It's
cool.
so close.
Yeah, that's Sekiro Star Wars.
I hope it's good.
Yeah,
Never know.
I hope it's
Never
good.
know.
I'm going to be reviewing it hopefully. So yeah,
It's going to be the Force Unleashed 2 and you're going to be sad.
fuck. Force Unleashed 1 is so good and then 2 is so sad.
Like, oh, so sad. so sad.
So yeah, I've been playing some games. You've been playing some
Been playing
games.
some games. So tell us what you've been playing.
I've been
Because you've
playing
got
some
more
2
games.
new games. Yeah.
Ooh.
First one, John Wick Hex. You heard of good old John Wick? Good old Baba Yaga.
Let's, Baba Yaga.
Baba
Let's
Yaga.
set some context here. So John Wick Hex. Before it was announced that it was John Wick Hex, people knew there was a John Wick game coming, right?
No, it was like completely out of nowhere.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, but I do remember when it broke, it was like, there's a new John Wick game.
Yeah.
And then people were like, yeah, cool action game. And then it's like, no, it's a bit of a puzzler strategy. And people were like, boo.
Yeah, I was like also a bit confused. I was like, that's an odd like avenue for them to go down.
But then you know that it's Mark Bithell working on it. And there's going to be some good game making happening. So
it's interesting. It's Mike Bithell who made Volume and Thomas Was Alone and
a platformer about blocks.
About blocks. The natural progression is a dude shooting people. So.
Although, what is did you mention the game after Thomas Was Alone? The stealth
Volume.
Oh, you did say Volume.
There's Volume,
Sorry,
and then he's made like
other stuff
2-point-and-click adventure games or like conversational games.
So I suppose
he made another one though.
It's very similar to Volume, and that Volume was highly inspired by Metal Gear Solid.
Yes, incredibly.
So I suppose that was a good base point for him to start working on this game if he's going to inject.
What I like is that he reminds me a lot of so him and his team. I think people keep forgetting. They think Mike Bithell's a one-man team.
No, it's him. It's all by himself.
It's him and like a couple other people. What I like is that he's almost like Supergiant. Like each of his games are a different genre, but they are all pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is a difficult thing to do. And John Wick Hex is good. I think it's
so
real good. I think it has issues like most Bithell games, but I think it's good.
How many Babas does it get out of a Yaga?
At least 5.
Sure, that's a lot. Depending where you're from. How do you interpret it?
So, like you said, John Wick Hex is a turn-based puzzle strategy / thing. But it's not like a XCOM. It's not you take your move and then you wait for everyone else to take their move.
Yeah.
What happens is at the top of the screen, you've got this timeline, which is sort of like a video timeline. It shows actions that are taking place and how many seconds they will take to execute. And when you... Oh, hi, Lupin.
I just have to stop him from being restless.
And when you move... everyone else on that timeline moves at the same time. So it's sort of like super hot.
Super hot, yeah.
When you take a move, time resumes, put it that way.
Yeah.
But the timeline gives you good information. So it features your moves and it features anyone else who is currently in view on the map.
Okay.
So you can see when they're going to shoot, when they're moving, when they're going to maybe strike at you or do something, and you will see how long there is before they start that action and how long that action is going to take. So you can make informed decisions about what you want to do to maybe stop them. So for instance, you can see that, in 0.5 seconds, someone's going to aim and shoot at you.
Oh.
So you can scroll through your actions like, okay, what if I shoot? Okay, it's going to take 0.2 seconds to prepare and 0.4 seconds to execute. So I'm going to shoot after him. So that's not ideal. Okay. What if I throw my gun? Oh, that's actually quicker. So there's a chance that my gun will hit him before he has a chance to shoot, which will negate his action.
Does it have an XCOM element in that your gun's not guaranteed to him, or is it like it will?
You have a percentage, but I feel like the game's less about accuracy percentages and more about like
making the right decisions.
Yeah, making the right decisions. And like I had an interview with Mike Bithell at E3 about this because I was like, one of the most frustrating things to me about XCOM is like 90% hit chance and you miss. And he's like, no, we don't do any of that because you're John Wick. John Wick doesn't
He doesn't miss, yeah.
He doesn't miss. Like, of course, if you're trying to throw your gun from fucking miles away, there's a very like odd chance that you won't hit. But if you're on top of the dude, you will hit that dude, like straight away. So you make all these decisions, and it's really cool because you have to combine John Wick's like, okay, I'm going to shoot now, and when I shoot, this guy will move closer to me, so I'll have a chance to roll at him and then do like a melee takedown. And when you do a melee takedown, at the end of the move, you're able to reposition yourself for free without any time penalty.
For free.
So you can kind of like reposition yourself closer to an enemy and keep chaining these takedowns.
Okay.
Sort of like in the movie, he'll take someone down, he'd roll, he'd be on top of someone else.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is to just try to take as little damage as possible because you die pretty quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's good.
That's cool.
Fucking love it. You get into this rhythm where you're making moves so quickly and so instinctively that it almost feels like you're playing in real time.
Is it one of those? So I've actually never watched any gameplay. Other than outside of screenshots, I have no idea how the game like actually flows. Is it a thing of you sort of string your commands together and it shows it from beginning to end, or you're just doing moves at a time?
You're doing one move at a time, and then after each move executes, then it pauses again.
Okay.
Or if you're in the middle of a move and a new enemy comes into view, it pauses so that you can maybe readjust or rethink what you're doing. You can't rewind though.
Okay.
So once you've locked in a move, that's move is in. Like,
now, what if you reach the end of the level? Does it show everything from beginning to end? Because that would be awesome.
It does, but it's nowhere near as cool as Super Hearts.
Okay.
So, and I think that's because of its turn-based nature. Super Hearts is like a fluid, you're moving.
You're reacting
like
and moving.
Yeah, exactly. But this is like, all the action takes place on like a grid, and the grid is like, it's not a cardinal direction one. It's almost like these zigzags.
Okay.
So when you watch it back, you look at John and
fluid,
it looks fucking weird. You just see him like zigzag moving towards an enemy, taking someone down, zigzag moving, and it almost looks like it makes the enemies look dumb as hell.
Okay.
Because it just seems like they're reacting so slowly.
Badly, yeah.
So
yeah,
it's a nice feature, but it doesn't. I ended up not watching them because
it doesn't translate as well as you'd think it would. Okay.
But it's really cool because you have to watch the ammo in your gun. Even things like reloading take time. Picking up a gun take time. If you reload and you've got 3 bullets in your magazine, you lose those 3 bullets.
Oh shit!
You've got to like think about.
You really have to think about
if I get into a firefight and I've only got 3 bullets, and if
down.
there's more enemies in 3, then maybe I'll need to reload. So do I reload now and lose those 3 bullets? Or, healing takes time, and then you've got this other resource called focus, which governs your like. So every time you do a takedown, you'll use like 2 points of focus, or every time you have to do a dodge, like sometimes an enemy will be coming at you with a melee strike and it'll give you the opportunity to dodge out the way and not take damage. That takes like 3 points of focus.
No.
Stuff like that. And you can recharge your focus at any time, but it takes time. So it's like, you just see John like shake his head like, I'm so groggy.
Oh man.
But that takes like half a second. And in that half a second, someone can move on you and take aim. And, if you don't pay attention to the timelines, you'll end up at a spot where you'll see someone who's going to shoot you, but you have absolutely no way to avoid it.
Okay.
So you just got to take that hit.
You just take it,
reset. Yeah.
Take it, and you're like, I need a bandage. He shakes his head because he's like, I got shot in the arm.
Shakes his head, he holds his arm a little bit. Yeah.
Damn.
It's a cool game, and it's got like 7 stages.
Oh.
God, the cats are fighting.
You got a cat now. Lupin's fighting. Now he's saying sorry. Cats are weird, man.
You've got like 7 stages, and at the end of each stage, you've got a boss fight, and the boss fights are quite neat. They're more like, it's not like a one-on-one fight. It's more like you fighting the stronger than usual enemy while other enemies are still coming
around
at you. But the levels are designed in a way where they feel cramped and claustrophobic. So you always have to like really think about how you're moving through.
Yeah, you can't just like hide in a corner and then just shoot people.
No.
Yeah.
I found that if I try to funnel people, more enemies would end up coming, and I'd just end up dying anyway.
Damn.
So you've got to balance like aggression and like thoughtful movements at the same time, and also just like you would know from Dota, like learning how to kite enemies.
Yeah.
Like because the game works with sightlines. If you're about to get shot and you can't like throw your gun to stun an enemy, if I'm close enough to like a wall, I can move, and because the movement's quick, the enemy will either miss me or they will disengage from their shot and they'll seek me out.
Okay, so you'll wait. You can, yeah. Okay.
It's really, really fun. And that's really satisfying because you're like, okay, there's 3 enemies. I'm going to move to this column, take this guy out. That means these 2 guys will be close to me. So I'm going to move this way. It's,
That's cool.
When you get a level down without taking any damage or anything, you feel really smart. And I think that's what makes it feel engrossing.
How long is this game? Have you finished it now?
7 hours, yeah.
Nice. And it's full on campaign basically.
Yeah, full on campaign. You can play it again because each stage has like medals you can unlock. So if you're very accurate, how much time you took.
It's like a 3-star system almost.
Exactly.
Fulfill certain objectives.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And then you can also play on a harder mode where you only get 5 seconds to take your turn. But I didn't really find that when I first started the game, I was like, holy shit,
that's impossible,
hard.
yeah.
And then when I actually started playing, I'm like, I basically do this anyway.
Yeah, you figure out how the system works. And
you're in a rhythm and you're just going. So, but yeah, I think it captures the feel of feeling like you're thinking like John Wick. Like you feel smart and you feel like you're chaining together all these hits like an unstoppable unstoppable choreographed assassin, but yeah, it's a bit janky here and there. Like the replay system's weird, the animations are a bit weird sometimes. But other than that, I think the game's solid. I think it's a really good game.
That's cool. And I think it's such a cool one because honestly, when you think of John Wick, you are going to think, oh, it's just a standard action game. Maybe something along the lines of Max Payne where you can slow down time and just a lot of guns. So just putting it in a strategic, like, puzzler or just a strategy game, I suppose, turn-based.
I think it would be hard if you were making like a Max Payne, like to make you feel like you were John Wick.
Yeah.
To make you feel like you were the unstoppable, like hitman that he is.
Yeah.
This does. And I do think like there are a lot of people that say, oh, they should have made something similar to Superhot. And I'm like, this kind of is that.
It's that, yeah, just from a different perspective, I guess.
Exactly. So I really like the direction. I thought it was like, like you said, when everyone announced it. Oh, hi, Lance.
We got surprise coffee. She says sorry like she's doing a bad thing, but she's bringing us coffee.
Lenska brought us coffee.
Thank you.
Happy. Thank you, Lenska. I think, when it was announced, I was like, I didn't think this is going to work.
I think a lot of people initially thought, nah, but when the first, I don't know, it was a demo or gameplay reveal or whatever.
Yeah, when I played it at E3, I was sold.
Especially when people played it, they were like, yeah, this is some good crack.
I've got some collectible like gold coins from that event at E3. It's kind of cool. Like the gold coins they use at the hotel to pay for stuff.
Oh yeah?
You've watched John Wick, right?
Yeah, I've seen the Assassin's Hotel.
Yeah. He always pays with those little like gold. I've got some of those. They're pretty cool.
Oh man, when you go into the Assassin's Hotel, check it. They're like, where are you from?
That's the other thing. So this game tells a prequel story.
Oh, okay.
So before John ever met his wife, before
the dog.
Yeah,
no.
Before the dog.
Oh no.
He's part of the High Table, whatever, and it introduces a new antagonist called Hex. Who's
so
kidnapped.
The Hex isn't the Hex system.
No,
the
it's
whatever.
not. I thought it was. It's like,
yeah.
no, this bad guy called Hex. It's like,
okay. It's leading into that theme.
Yeah. And he's basically kidnapped, the old guy, Ian McShane, the guy who basically controls the hotel. And then the concierge, I don't know the character's name now, I've forgotten. But Lance Reddick, the dude who's always at the reception.
Oh, yeah?
Who takes John Wick's dog and all that. So he's kidnapped those two, and he's like, I want revenge on the High Table and blah, blah. The story's bad. The story's straight up just boring.
Just action stuff.
And I have to feel that because the game was made in conjunction with Lionsgate, who are the parent company of the film, like they had a lot of say in that because they're adding to this. But it's just like, it doesn't tell you anything new about John Wick. He doesn't talk. You learn nothing about his time as a hitman other than that he was still pretty fucking good at what he did. So it's just like,
nah,
it's there.
Yeah. It's an excuse to stitch together this
exactly.
These cool levels. So
inconsequential and pretty boring. Yeah. So I tuned out of that stuff very quickly.
That's cool.
And just enjoyed the action. Yeah.
Nice. Well, what did you play it on?
It's only on PC at the moment.
Okay.
But it is coming to console.
I think it would come to other platforms.
But it's only on Epic Game Store at the moment.
Oh my god, a separate launcher? How dare they? I don't know
how much it is. I think it's like $20, and for that,
Epic.
totally worth it.
It's
It's a nice like. You grab it on a weekend, you'll finish it in 1 or 2 days, and you'll feel satisfied at the end.
That's the sort of game I'd want to play on Switch, though. Surprise!
I think it would.
That Switch where everything works on Switch, basically.
I'm just curious how they're gonna translate the UI because it's like you click on enemies and then it brings up another menu of contextual actions you can do to them. So my view is that they'll just have like an on-screen mouse clicker, like Stardew Valley or whatever.
Well, random segue on that. You dabbled with PS Remote Play this week.
I did a little bit, which is weird because we both have iPhones and this thing's been available on iPhones since like February.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it only came to Android
honestly, I had no idea until you mentioned. I was like, oh, okay.
I think I never took notice because at that point you couldn't use controllers.
So it's not really worth it.
You bought a fancy MiFi controller.
Yeah.
But now you can use controllers. So I was like, oh, let me get it. So it took me a long time to get it working.
Yeah.
Because it just refused to connect to my PS4. And then I thought, oh, maybe it's because it's not primary because we do the game sharing thing. Yeah. Turns out it wasn't that. I just had to sign out from PSN on my PS4, sign back in, and then it worked.
Oh, okay.
Don't know why.
On your account, sorry, because Okay, that's
I
weird.
just signed out of my account and signed back in. It was like an
was fun.
authentication issue. Yeah.
Okay, but then other than that, what's the experience like?
Pretty good. You can choose you can choose certain resolutions and certain frame rates to run on your phone, which are generally dictated by your internet connection that you use. And even on my really good internet connection, I was struggling sometimes with the frame rate. But like I was playing Trine, which is like a 2D game, not that demanding, and it was working just fine.
Okay.
It was quite nice. I was actually using an Xbox controller.
Tainting the system.
I've only got a clip for an Xbox controller.
Okay.
So I was using that, and it worked super well.
That's cool.
I got to play, and every now and then the picture would go like, like when a YouTube video like gets a snag and it goes.
Okay.
It's like losing connection. Then
like no.
Yeah. Pretty seamless.
Can you do that with Steam as well, though? Can't you? Or am I imagining?
I've never got Steam ones to work really nicely.
So the reason I'm asking is just because like we say all these things just are so nice on Switch, but there's an option at some stage to play everything on your phone or in bed or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
because like I haven't used the Steam one on my phone, but my TV has an app for like a Steam Link. And man, it just does not work properly. I don't know if it's the encoder in the TV is just not fast enough to keep up with it or something. So I need to try it on like a phone, which is a bit more powerful, but I can't get that thing to work properly.
Who needs it when you can just stream in future?
True.
Just stream your games to your eyeballs, maybe with a Google Glass.
I'm so sad
Rest in
that they
peace.
stopped that stuff. Yeah, that thing looks so cool.
Rest in peace.
You know what I wanted that thing for? It's like when you're driving and you need directions, just beam that shit into my eyes.
That is actually, I never thought about that. Because imagine just with AR, it's like turn here and it highlights the lane. So how many times have you been following the GPS and on the highway it splits into like 8 lanes and you end up taking the wrong one?
It's like having the like a GTA road guide thing, and it's just like
in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be great.
So cool.
Oh my gosh.
So cool.
I'll take it. Rest in peace, Google.
So I mentioned Trine. I'll just quickly touch on that. I'm still playing that. Trine. Have you ever played any of the Trine games?
But no, I haven't. But I know there are like 4.
This is the 4th one.
Okay, you're playing the 4th one.
This is the 4th one. So the first 2 were like 2.5D puzzle platformers.
Yeah.
Then the 3rd one, they were like, let's go full 3D.
Why do Trine's not like a turn-based? No. I don't know why I think that.
Platformer.
Yeah. Okay.
So they went full 3D with the 3rd one. Everyone hated it. So they've gone back to 2.5D.
Okay, 2.5.
And it's cool. So it's like a physics puzzle platformer where you have 3 characters and you can swap between them at any time.
Yeah.
And they've each got their own abilities. So one of them is a wizard, and he can conjure up like blocks that you can place down, to use as platforms, or you can put it on like a seesaw to adjust gravity, stuff like that.
Okay.
Then you've got a thief, who is my favorite. She's got a grappling hook and a bow and arrow, and so her grappling hook can attach to certain parts of like environments, but can also attach to the wizard's box. So you can place the box in a certain place and then grapple up to it.
Okay.
Then you've got a knight, this obese knight, which is really funny. But he's like really charming and really just awesome. And he can like body slam the ground to like propel you guys up.
Oh, okay.
On a seesaw or whatever. And he's more of a fighter. So when you're in combat scenarios, he fights. Oh, he's got a shield, so you can deflect projectiles and light to activate certain things. So you use all these 3 movesets in combination with one another to get past pretty... I wouldn't say they're hard, but they're not easy, like physics puzzles. Like, I'll need to put a box here and grapple up here, or I need to move this thing to put it on a seesaw and then body slam on it and then jump up, and when I'm in the air, grapple.
Yeah.
And you only have one character on the screen at a time, and when you swap between them, they swap, there. So if I jump up onto a platform as the thief, if I swap to the wizard will still be there. It's not like he's left behind.
Okay.
It's real fun.
That's cool.
I think it's 100% your type of game as well.
Yeah, it's actually, now that you mention, I'm like,
because it's got some
seems
good
awfully
platforming
interesting.
elements, and the puzzles are fun because it's all physics based. You can really feel like you're breaking them. Like you can solve puzzles in a way that you're like, I don't think they intended
you broke
that. Yeah. And it's just fun to experiment with it and like get past. And they introduce new abilities to you at a nice pace. Like now my archer's got different types of arrows. So she's got fire ones and ice ones. So I can freeze parts of water or melt certain things.
Okay.
tie into.
Sounds like my kind of game.
And then the wizard now has got like a mid-air teleport, so I can teleport across things. Like it's dope.
Okay, what are you playing that on?
It's on PS4, so you should have it actually.
Oh,
Yeah, because the game.
I was like, how would I have? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you.
So I can check it out.
Yeah, you can check it. The only thing that I found a bit annoying is that the levels feel a bit too long.
Okay, so it's not like
bite-sized of the aesthetic by the end of it.
Well, just like I tire like my brain gets so
mean,
muddled. I can't figure it out.
It's like the main path through the levels is not that hard, but there's obviously like hidden collectibles, and those are behind some really challenging puzzles.
Okay.
Like, I've sat at one for like 10 minutes just looking at it, just like how do I do
Imagine
this?
a time lapse of you on the couch, you standing up, pacing.
Yeah, just like like a Sherlock Holmes
looking out the window. While I do this.
From oh man, Pablo Escobar. I'm just
yes, it's that me. Like how to solve this puzzle. Someone with Photoshop do that.
Yeah, please do.
That's cool. That sounds like it's my kind of game.
It's really fun. Its story is like whimsical and like high fantasy stuff, but it's got some good writing.
Do the stories like so? It's Titanfall, for example. Or is there any continuity, or they standalone, or
Trine 3 ended on a cliffhanger. They just
were they just hanging on a cliff?
Ignore the shit out of that game.
Oh my god!
They're just like, let's pretend this game did not.
This game's a prequel.
Yeah, this game is just its own contained story. It's like that these three characters have worked together before. Now they've just come together to find this prince whose nightmares are becoming real life, essentially.
Oh yeah, because it's called what? The Nightmare Prince.
Yeah, that's the one aspect of the game I don't like. Is like. In levels, you'll sometimes come across like little combat arenas. The combat's shit. Combat is just mashy. It's nonsense. It's messy. I don't like it. Yeah.
Puzzle platform.
Yeah, it's over quick enough, so it doesn't feel that offensive. But other than that, the game's fun.
That's cool.
Enjoying
and I have it. Surprise.
And it's beautiful. My goodness.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at some screenshots. Yeah, that looks really cool.
Absolutely stunning. It's got this really, really nice art style, and it really pops.
Looks almost like Ori-ish in how it pops.
It's got a lot of saturated colors and lots of good, like, chunky details to things, and I really like the way it looks.
Good chunky game.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Tron. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of... You're getting tired like Trine. 10 minutes, like I'm tired of this aesthetic. I'm tired of my voice.
What have you been playing?
Speaking of platforming, I've been playing an unusual platformer, but not platformer, in the form of Titanfall 2.
Definitely platformer.
After all these years of people saying like, Titanfall 2 is like this, it's this game that just went by unnoticed. I mean, it's got a bit of a cult following.
Yes, definitely.
But there are definitely people who didn't play it because... For some reason, EA decided to release this game between, at the time, was it Battlefield 1 and whatever Call of Duty was out at the time?
It was like...
Or was it Battlefield 1?
Yeah.
And then
so
it was literally Battlefield 1, Titanfall, then Call of Duty. It's like, this game was... It seems like it was just sent out to die. Honestly, it was really... Like, I don't know how release schedules work, but... If I had any power at that company to change it, it would have definitely changed it to not between those two. Those are the two shooters people look forward to every year.
It was a crime because out of the three, it was the best one. Well, and just people forgot about it.
So I haven't played the multiplayer, but you know what? If you've played Apex, you've got like a feeling for how the movements and that sort of thing is. But what you don't get from Apex is you can wall run, you can double jump, you get Titans. But in terms of weapons and movements, like you understand what the multiplayer. Well, I'd understand what the multiplayer could be like because
it's actually kind of weird because I also returned to it recently just for a bit. I was like, I recognize all these guns a lot more now.
Yeah,
it's like Apex.
Well, so as someone who never played Titanfall 2, it was weird because I've had it for a long time, been recommended to me by a lot of people, and I almost needed like a bit of a palate cleanser, like. I know it's a short campaign. It's like 5 to 8 hours, let's say. Yeah. So yeah, when I say short, I mean it's not like a 40-hour game. I know I can pick it up and finish in like a week or two. Yeah. So I just started it late one evening and I played 2 hours and I was like, damn, this game is incredible. If you haven't played it, it's like really tight shooting. The story seems really good.
Yeah, it's fun.
Piloting a Titan is a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
Yeah, they really improved on that.
Yeah, it's weird because like when I think of mechs or just not Titans, just mechs in general, like I don't get any. It doesn't excite me. I'm like,
I'm not
I don't think of like climbing into a big like war suit, and you can
Yeah,
fly, and you can do all sorts of things. But I must say the way they balance, so in this game you play as a pilot, I guess, or you start out as like an infantryman.
Yes, and you become a pilot,
your sort of your mentor dies, and you end up having to fill his shoes and take over as a pilot, and you form this relationship with a Titan called BT.
Yeah, BT. He's cool.
And yeah, it's really cool. So what happens is the game is a balance of just you normal first person shooting, and being in BT piloting this big mech, and they balance it really nicely because I think if you think about it, piloting a Titan, I'm sure to get very old real fast. Like if the whole game was you in this Titan,
Yeah, no,
like
definitely.
I personally, I think I'd get very bored.
Definitely, yeah.
But they do it so smartly that you end up bouncing between you yourself and being in the Titan, that it never feels like stale. It always feels like this fresh. And the fact that your Titan's always picking up new weapons, and when you pick up new weapons, it's not like just a weapon. It's almost like you've stepped into another Titan.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother class.
Because it gives you a whole nother set of abilities,
I
which is really
love
cool.
that part of it, because if it was just the same,
If it is
standard
just,
Titan,
it would get boring. But it just feels really good. And so coming from Apex and never playing Titanfall, you recognize all the weapons, because the weapons in Apex are inspired, if not the same, ripped straight from Titanfall. Although there's some twists in it. So like on Titanfall 2, you get the R201, and Apex it's the R301. So it's like it's like
same
little
universe,
the same universe, little improvements, whatever. But it's funny because now I'm like, there's a whole lot of weapons in Titanfall 2 that aren't in Apex.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
there's a lot they can pull from.
That's interesting. I mean, and it's funny, unrelated. I played a bit of Apex last night, and one of the new legendary weapons is the All-Star, which is like this
the
energy
one,
weapon.
yeah.
When I was playing Titanfall 2, I was like, oh man, that'd be cool if they put it in Apex. And I played yesterday, I'm like, oh, they have. It came with Season 3, like it's a new update. So Titanfall 2, I haven't played the multiplayer. I'd love to. I don't know if I'll be able to find games.
How good's that platforming in the campaign?
Yeah, I was going to get to that. It's funny because it's a first-person shooter, but because you can wall run and you've got your double jump, they introduce some interesting platforming.
It feels so good.
And as someone who likes a platformer, you're talking to Celeste and Mario Man over here. It's weird that you're playing the shooter and you're just wall running, and you have to solve some platforming puzzles as well. I mean, I won't do it for spoiler reasons, because I know like my brother hasn't played the game, and I've just told him you have to play it. There's at one level that you mentioned, when you get to this level, you know what I'm talking about.
First-person shooter levels ever.
They introduce this mechanic, and then they use that to do. You have to use this mechanic to solve puzzles and get across platforms.
Unbelievable.
And it's
so good.
It's really, really cool.
That part near the end of that level where everything's just going to hell, and you just have to like get out, and the pace is just high.
Yeah, it's really good.
Man. That level still.
So-
and there's a level near the end where you get another sort of like adrenaline rush like that.
Oh,
It's
God.
real good.
So a lot of people I've seen have compared this to, let's say, like, we're not going to get Half-Life 3. This is the closest sort of thing we'll get to.
I'm not sure about that.
It's not. It's like, my understanding is that it's not. Obviously, it's not Half-Life 3.
Yeah,
but
very
in terms
different types of games.
in terms of like, if you're looking for this almost defining first-person shooter, this game is really good. Like, it stands head and shoulders above Call of Duty, in my opinion. And it really is a darn shame that so many people just haven't looked at it.
Yeah, as a campaign, I don't think there's been. We were chatting about it yesterday. I don't think there's been a better first-person shooter campaign this generation.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, it's just special in so many ways. Every level feels like it's got a different like hook to it.
Yeah.
And man, getting some of those collectible pilot helmets is really challenging and fun. And then the combat's just fucking awesome.
The shooting's solid. It's
so
really
solid.
good. And it's just satisfying.
And the fights against the Titans are fun. Like you rodeo
so
on the Titans.
What they do is in the campaign, they introduce these characters that are like these bosses at some stage. So I suppose that's my one criticism, in that the first boss so when you're playing through a level, say one of the early levels, I guess in a dam, or you running a lot through a dam facility.
It's like the level after the tutorial.
Yeah. So there's this enemy who like taunts you throughout the whole level, like, oh, okay, like
he's a South African guy, isn't he?
No, so that's the main bad guy. These are sort of his like
Wait, but
he's like he's a What do you call them? Yeah, Chana.
Chana Kruger, isn't it? Or?
No, it's a Blisk.
Blisk.
Yeah. You're thinking of is it District 9
No,
or what's the spin-off?
Elysium.
Elysium, yeah.
That's Kruger, yeah.
It's Fred Kruger.
That dude had a fucking cool sword, okay?
Yeah, he did. So in some levels, they introduce these antagonists who are like these mini bosses, and they taunt you through the whole level, and like the character development's pretty cool because you're like, oh man, like this person's an asshole. Like I can't wait to fight them. But then the one or two boss fights I've had, the one was like really easy. I think what happened is, so Titans have sort of like an ultimate, which does a lot of damage. And I just happened to have it when I got to the boss. And I went to them so quickly.
Yeah.
So it was a bit disappointing. Like there's this huge build up and then it's like, oh my God, there's this big bad guy. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But then 1 or 2 levels later, I fought another boss, and they actually were pretty challenging. I died a couple of times because I just wasn't prepared for it. So I think in that regard, it's a bit like, I don't know, jarring or unbalanced or like maybe, I don't know. But I don't know how you would fix that.
I just like that you take their abilities.
You take their abilities,
which is pretty cool. Like when you see a boss that's like using a Titan with a sword, and it's like, I want that. Like, I have that.
I've got it now.
It's really, I mean, this is more a something that was in Titanfall 1, and it's what really drew me to the game. But really just the tactile nature, like the relationship between you and your Titan. Like when you're healing your Titan, you are literally lugging a battery pack, jumping on the back of this fucking hulking mech,
putting it in,
shoving it in. It feels so good. And when you play in multiplayer, you'll see like this good balance of, oh, an enemy's in a Titan. That doesn't mean he's suddenly killing everyone. It's like, you're smaller, more nimble. If you can find a way to get on top of his back, he's fucked. Like, it's such a cool balance between the two.
The Titans can't jump. I think there's one that has like a fly ability, a short, but other than that, they
definitely balance. Like, they are strong, but they are slow enough that nimble, because you have this move set where you can slide and dash and jump and you can really get around Titans in easy ways. So
it's very
and
cool.
then you've got the grappling hook as well in multiplayer.
Yeah, it's weird because playing. So like I said, I went back to Apex yesterday. All of a sudden, you can't wall run.
Apex feels slow.
There's no double jump. I'm like, oh my god,
that double jump is so good.
It's really
like
good.
Hop. It's,
but the thing is, when you wall run, you get like this movement speed boost, and then when you jump off it, it's like this launch.
Yes,
and it's very satisfying.
The momentum's super good.
So, but it does make me think like it's. At Apex, at some point, they are going to introduce. So they've got a character who can grapple. They've got Pathfinder, but at some point, they are going to have someone who can. They're going to have people who can wall run and double jump, or one or the other. But it's cool. It's really cool.
My favorite thing about Titanfall is just how they kind of tune it so you almost feel like an action hero jumping through windows because you'll double jump to try and get through a window, and it will slightly readjust you to be like, oh, you got through that window, you fucking nailed it.
It's good. It's
but
a good
it's slight
time.
enough that it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm being like handheld through this thing. It's like, fuck yeah, I did it.
It's good. It's a good game. This is my plea to everyone listening. If you haven't played Titanfall, when it goes on sale, it's so cheap. I think I picked it up on a PlayStation sale for like literally 50 or 60 rand. Like a year ago, and I just had it, and I never played it until now. And
it looks good, hey?
It runs, game. Like Apex, it runs smoothly at 60 FPS.
It runs on Source Engine?
Really? Shit, eh?
Valve Source Engine.
Damn, that's a good time. So play some Titanfall 2.
It's a good game.
So I'm not finished. I think I'm close-ish to the end.
If you've got past that level that I love,
I'm more than halfway.
You're more than halfway. You'll.
We've got some wild dogs running around.
You'll know when you get to the other part where I said it's an adrenaline spike. It's so wild. It's so good, and it's using a weapon from the first game that was controversial at the time because everyone thought it was overpowered.
So so they put it in there.
I was like, oh, they just removed it from the entire game,
and then it's there like, right at the end.
No, man. And if you thought it was overpowered in the first one, it's fucked up overpowered.
Yeah, I must say the campaign, one of the things, so I'm still figuring out the story because like I don't know the backstory of Titanfall 1.
There wasn't a story.
But I mean generally there's some sort of like background lore.
So I know there's multiplayer. There wasn't a campaign in the first one, but you just knew there was these two factions fighting. Yes. That's it.
No, so that's it. And Titanfall 2 is like you on one of the factions.
It reminds me of Killzone.
But you straight up murder the shit out of people. There are tons of people. Sometimes I'm like, damn, this is quite hectic.
Oh, last question. How long did you spend on that little time trial thing at the beginning? It reminds me of the one from Call of Duty.
Call of Duty,
4.
yeah.
Where
So I spent. I didn't spend too long because I did, like I said, it was late. I just wanted to get into the game, but I did make sure that I'd improve I did it like maybe 5, 6, 7 times. That every time I improved a little bit. But that being said, I don't know how. I assume there's a trophy tied to beating the first time. There must be. And I'm like, how? That you have to be so quick.
I've beaten that first time once.
Jeez,
but I spent about 3 or 4 hours just playing that.
But that's cool though. I enjoy that. So it's something I'll probably go back to.
I mean, I did it on Modern Warfare the first time. I remember when I was a kid playing that, I'm like, I want to beat, who was it? Gaz's time? It was like 19 seconds or something stupid. And I was just like, I have to. And I just kept playing. And eventually becomes muscle memory.
It's addictive, yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun. I love that you can try every gun in the game like there.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
But except in Titanfall 2, it's not just running, it's wall
Shit,
jumping and double jumping. And you know what's cool is that every time you finish, so say you finish it once, whatever, then it's like, okay, here's the next time you have to beat. And it shows you the ghost. Oh, wait, does it show your ghost or that ghost?
Shows your ghost.
Oh, is it your ghost?
I think it's your ghost, yeah.
Because why did I thought maybe it's showing me the ghost of the next time to show you like a different path.
I might be wrong.
Because, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. In my head, I thought it's showing me the ghost of the person ahead of me. So I can be like, oh, they took that path. That,
like
maybe.
a different path.
Yeah, like I didn't do that. Or, like, I don't know. Now you say maybe it was me and I just forgot.
I definitely only set that time on when I played it on PC.
Yeah, I don't know. On controller, I don't know.
It's just the controls work really nicely, but the combination of wall running and twisting backwards really quickly and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, I'm not going to do this as.
This isn't some PC Master Race stuff, but on shooters, a keyboard and mouse, it's much easier.
I'm just way better at it.
Even playing Apex last night on controller, I'm like, because I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'd snipe a lot better if I had a mouse, because I'm just not used to my controller.
This is the thing. Like, I prefer playing shooters with the mouse and keyboard, but if I'm playing online, I'd rather play a controller because I can't compete with other people on mouse and keyboard. They're just way better than me. Whereas on controller, I feel a lot more even-footed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, look,
it's a trade-off.
To each their own. Yeah. And it's not that I won't play on controller. Just at the back of my mind, I'm like,
you fucking elitist.
God damn it.
God.
Give me my mouse. So that's what we've been playing this week.
Yeah, I really want to hear your thoughts when you get to the end of that game.
Next week. I'll probably finish it this weekend.
It's such a good game.
Some good stuff.
Yeah,
some good crack.
Titanfall 2. It's fucking awesome.
God, it's such a good game.
Should we get to...
Game releases. I don't know how you're going to type on that keyboard. We've got some...
Should have set them up beforehand.
Oh, no.
Where's the mouse? Oh, there it is.
It's on the right
I'm
there.
navigating Matty's controller.
We have two screens for a change. How nice.
Oh, yeah. VG... Oh, there we go.
So what is...
I miss this keyboard.
Oh yeah. That old swapperoo.
Yeah. What did you give me? I got a mouse.
I got a mouse, yeah.
I still use that mouse.
It's a good
mouse
time.
is fucking incredible.
Oh, that's G502.
Jeez.
It's a good mouse.
The scroll wheel is so nice.
Listen, Logitech hardware.
I mean, I've got a Logitech mouse for work that MX Master on, and it's the best mouse I've ever used in my life. Like,
you might notice I've branded Logitech here. I've got Logitech speakers, keyboard, mouse.
I really want their new keyboard. They've got a new keyboard coming out with hot swappable.
I remember you sharing that.
Yeah, I really want that. So we're looking at game releases from, let me just find your calendar here, from the 12th of October, can you believe it, to the 18th of October. Holy crap, we're like halfway through October.
Guys, it's going to be Christmas soon, just you wait.
Jesus, what are you sending us for Christmas? Spiders in a box. Okay, we've got a game called Out Buddies on PC coming October 15th. Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip. So that's a game about the movie. Yeah. I actually watched Zombieland for the first time the other day.
Oh, yeah? You've never seen it before?
No.
The second one's coming out.
I like how, what's his name, Tallahassee is addicted to Twinkies. Really funny.
It's good.
Yeah.
That movie was, like, I enjoyed it a lot.
And they killed Bill Murray. What the fuck? I finally know where that meme comes from now, where he's wiping away his tears with money. I was like, oh shit, this is from here?
I love that movie, though, that Bill Murray is just Bill Murray.
Yeah. And he dies in the stupidest way. He's just playing a fucking joke on the other two, and they shoot him. And he's like, God, should have seen that coming. God, so funny.
Oh, my God. So Overwatch coming on Switch this week.
Children of Mortar, which is a game I've been itching to play.
That's a roguelike? Come on.
Yeah, it's like a roguelike. So it's out on PS4 and Xbox One October 15th and on Switch on November 20th.
Nice.
I really want that game on Switch. I'm very excited to play that.
Oh, boy.
Disco Elysium, PC, October 15th.
Nice.
I don't know, Disco.
Nice.
Sounds cool. Overwatch on Switch, October 15th. I still feel like this has come way too late.
It's super late, yeah.
Way too late. I mean, Blizzard's already talking about like an Overwatch 2, so...
Yeah.
Also, Blizzard's not in the great...
No, we'll get to that.
Yeah,
though.
we'll get to that.
But, I mean, Overwatch and Switch, the circle's complete. It's on everything. It has to come to mobile.
Yeah.
Allah. I have to bring it to mobile.
Override Mech City Brawl. This is like a like cartoonish mech fighting game. I remember Glenn reviewed it and he wasn't a huge fan of it.
Oh.
Switcher, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, coming to Switch.
How nice.
Complete edition.
Oh, Baldur's Gate.
This is all October 15th, by the way. This is all Tuesday.
This is, whoa, one day.
Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition Pack. This is actually something I might want to play. I've never played...
I've also never played Baldur's Gate.
Oh my fuck, this is out this week.
Little Town Hero.
So, okay, let's calm down. Little Town Hero coming to Switch October 16th. That's the new game from Game Freak, the people who make Pokemon.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
exactly. I'm like, I had no idea this was out so soon. Okay.
Damn. And then Pokemon's out next month.
Yeah. I think it's Game Freak. I'm pretty sure it's Game Freak.
I think so. And actually, now that you mention it, does ring a bell.
Gleaner Heights, also coming to Switch October 16th. Chernobylite. Cute. Steam Early Access October 16th. Autonauts looks really cool. So
the hell is Autonauts?
Autonauts, I watched a trailer. It's almost like a factory puzzle game.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to set up automated systems to like get something working efficiently. So it pings the programming brain part of my brain. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to play
You're going to take my work home.
Yeah, exactly. Stranded Sails, Explorers of the Coast Islands, PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, October 17th.
Kine.
I'm gonna skip over some of these. Kine, PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, October 17th. Sea Salt. Okay, just don't drink this game.
Don't do it.
PC, Xbox One, and Switch, October 17th.
This is the best name.
Monkey King Hero. Oh, Monkey King Hero is back. PC and PS4.
Okay, but the next one though.
The Fisherman, Fishing Planet.
Now imagine your hobby's fishing. You land on a planet,
and then you fish more.
You fish forever.
That's coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One.
No more heroes.
Yeah, previous Switch exclusive.
Have you played No More Heroes before?
No. I know he's got like a weird lightsaber.
It's like a lightsaber. I presume the games are.
But this one is the spin-off one that came on Switch earlier this year, which is weird apparently.
Okay.
So it's Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes Complete Edition, PC, PS4. Digimon Stories Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition. What's up, Luna?
We have another Wildcat. She had to drink your coffee.
That's coming out on PC and Switch. I've heard good things about this Digimon Cyber Sleuth. It's like a Pokemon-esque game, but with Digimon.
I can't believe Digimon's still a thing.
This is a big one for Nicola. He loves his Digimon. Yeah.
He does.
Even though he doesn't like children things.
He hates Nintendo, loves Digimon. Please explain.
Yeah, please explain.
Explain yourself, Nicola.
A Hat in Time coming to Switch. This is a really good platformer.
Why does that ring a bell?
It's come out like almost 2 years ago, but now it's coming to Switch.
Okay.
It's really good. You would.
A Hat in Time.
Ring Fit Adventure coming to Switch October 18th.
Oh shit, that's out this week?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize it was out so soon.
We're gonna Pilates.
Pilates.
We really got to stream this. We just got to.
I would. I suppose we could. We could make a plan.
We got to stream some Pilates.
I've got the setup. Let's do it.
Return of Obra Dinn coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. This is
that's cool.
A game from Lucas Pope.
Pick it up on Switch.
Papers, Please. Yeah, this game is apparently phenomenal as a puzzle game. So yeah.
It did launch this year though, right? And
last year on
was
PC.
it last year? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was nominated for some awards. Yeah.
Plants vs Zombies: Battle for Neighborville. That's the sequel to their shooter-ish spin-off of that franchise.
Finally.
It's out of early access on PC, PS4, Xbox One, October 18th. And Ice Age: Scrat's Nutty Adventure.
Nice. It's a franchise
PC,
that keeps
PS4,
on giving.
Xbox One, and Switch, October 18th.
Oh, that's it. Damn. Then there's a weird 3-day break.
There's a lot of stuff.
Oh my! Outer Worlds. Oh yeah, this is one thing I didn't realize was happening. Gwent is coming to iOS end of this month, which is pretty cool.
After Party.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Outer Worlds is on Xbox Games Pass.
It's coming out
Fucking
next
hell
week.
yeah. Excited for that.
So much stuff. Oh, then November.
I'm so glad we're looking at a very old screenshot of the Star Wars game. I'm glad they changed the color of the lightsaber. Because this just looks like a weird blue, and now it looks like the blue and white, like from the films.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like trash now. Because that looks like fucking trash. I hate that.
Oh my
It looks like
God.
he's waving around a glow stick.
It is a glow stick.
Shut up. It's a glow stick that will kill you.
Oh, yeah, it'll murder you. Jeez, like straight up kill you.
Should we look
Get
at...
to news.
I like that your bookmark for Critical Hit still says Lazy Gamer, because so does mine. Oh, wow.
There you go.
Rude.
No, you need that one.
Rude.
Goddamn. Destiny.
Looking at news. Okay, so let's talk firstly about the big news, which
Blizzard.
is Blizzard. So there was an update for that this morning, but let's give some.
Yeah, I glazed over that in my sleepy state. But yeah.
So
give us the backstory.
So there was a big Hearthstone tournament in. I don't know if it was in China.
I don't know where it was, to be honest.
But it was, Hearthstone tournament, and the winner, what's his name? Blitz.
What's the name?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Blitz something.
I'll find it.
Give me an article there.
I'm gonna find it.
No, don't put me on the spot. I just know he said something. But what did he say? Should we pull up an actual quote?
He,
Or do
instead of doing this, let's
just find an article. Okay, we'll find it.
We'll find an article. Jeff, I know, wrote a very scathing article because he has strong feelings about this. This would help if I go
let's just go to games. Do you want to? What the hell?
Yeah, so
we're prepared for news.
So basically, it was a Hearthstone tournament. The player who won was busy giving a interview, post match interview.
Like, yeah, I won. Also,
and then he put on like goggles and a rebreather mask, which is kind of what protesters in Hong Kong are wearing now to kind of
there we go.
To protest against China's facial recognition software. So if you don't know what's happening in Hong Kong and China, essentially Hong Kong exists as a separate entity from China politically.
Yeah.
It's very weird. You can read up on this. But essentially China wants to enforce more of its laws in Hong Kong
yeah.
and especially extradite criminals from Hong Kong to be prosecuted in China, which has more strict laws and stuff like that. And there have been protests for weeks now
Yeah, it's been
Hong
going
Kong
on a long
citizens opposing China's rule because Hong Kong feels a lot more democratic and a lot more free than the rest of communist China.
Yeah.
So basically, this player whose name is...
It is
Blitzchung.
Blitzchung.
Chung. Okay,
So
I'm not going to butcher his name because I feel like I'll just do a disservice to that. So he basically wore a mask and goggles on the stream, and he voiced his support for the Hong Kong protests.
Yeah.
And basically said, he supports the fight for democracy, liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age. That's what he said. So
that's a quote after the thing.
Yeah. His quote after the fact was, "As you know, there are serious protests in my country now. My call on stream was just another form of participation of the protests that I wish to grab more attention. I put so much effort in that social movement in the past few months that I sometimes couldn't focus on preparing my Grandmaster match. I know that my action on stream means it could cause me a lot of trouble, even my personal safety in real life, but I think it's my duty to say something about this issue," which is kind of fucking amazing for this dude who's
to
like really young and, to have such a passion for his country. The shoutcasters in the stream, when they saw what was happening, ducked under the fucking table.
Oh, yeah?
They literally ducked under because they're like, we do not want to be associated with this shit.
Yeah.
And it took a few hours for Blizzard to essentially ban Blitzchung. They revoked all his prize money and they banned him from playing in official tournaments for a year. The two Taiwanese casters who also appeared with him, despite literally running under the table, were also fired by Blizzard.
So that actually hit because I remember reading. So we'll get to the Blizzard statement shortly, but I remember them saying like there were casters fired as well.
Yeah,
which I was very confused because I was like, but I thought it was just him.
Yeah,
voicing his protest.
So part of Blizzard's statement on this was a quote that says, "We'd like to re-emphasize tournaments and player conduct within the Hearthstone esports community from both players and talent. While we stand by one's right to express individual thoughts and opinions, players and other participants that elect to participate in our esports competitions must abide by official competition rules." So the way I read into it is they used this weird catch-all clause in, their terms of service thing for
as
tournaments.
their foundation for,
But it's the sort of clause that is meant to protect them from, like, a player saying racist bullshit on a stream or, like, supporting human rights violations or whatever. They used it as a weird thing. But it also is not that surprising given who bankrolls a lot of Blizzard's stuff. So firstly, China is a massive market for Blizzard. China's already recently loosened legislation on games in the country, so people like Activision, people like Blizzard are finally able to sell games there. But then also Tencent's a Chinese company who has, let's be honest, stakes in everywhere in games. They own parts of Epic, they own a large stake of Blizzard and Activision.
They own 100% of Riot, I think.
Yes, they own Riot completely. Stuff like that.
League of Legends, damn.
And they are a fully Chinese company, so obviously they are going to have some sort of push or say in this. So it says in the article, it's worth noting Chinese mega corporation Tencent is one of the big investors that helped Bobby Kotick and co buy Activision Blizzard out of Vivendi. They still own a 5% stake in the company. So it's very clear Blizzard chose to keep stakeholders happy as opposed to allow for player free speech.
But like that, so they say it's just 5% stake, but let's just remember that's 5% of like billions of dollars.
And I think it's more a case of like if they let this slide and it blows up enough, and China's government, who already are no strangers to like being like, well, fuck you. They're just like, cool, we're not going to sell your games anymore. And that's like a huge revenue stream gone. So especially with things like Diablo Immortal coming out and stuff.
Goddamn.
So it led to a week of weird stuff. There was calls by other Hearthstone players to boycott Blizzard. I know some prominent shoutcasters in America decided to quit shoutcasting as a form of protest. There were employees at Blizzard who were protesting. They covered up some slogans for the company that kind of suggested the company was all about player freedom.
We'll get to their statements earlier. They actually say it multiple times. I'm like, yes, but you're not fulfilling that statement.
Was there another article written?
But here's another weird thing. So a lot of people, as a form of protest, wanted to deactivate their Blizzard accounts.
Yes,
and Blizzard made it like near impossible to do that.
Yeah, they did for a while. Like I saw it going around, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh no, we can delete our accounts again. But like for a brief moment, it seemed like you had to send through like your ID.
It was like 3 or 4 layers of authentication or something stupid like that for you to cancel your Blizzard account,
which is so ridiculous. I know our Reddit Hearthstone and Reddit Blizzard all got like set to private in the wake of this happening. And there were even protests in other Hearthstone streams. People were showing support for Hong Kong in their streams. So basically, Blizzard enacted the Streisand effect. They tried to shut something down and ended up just putting it on more radars than possible.
Like, when will any company or any personality learn that on the internet, the moment you take it away or say, don't do this,
people do it.
The inverse happens like tenfold. So...
this was the thing. There was employees at Blizzard's who went out to they have a big statue and a big, like slogan at the front of their campus I think it's in Anaheim. And they covered up the portions of it that say "Think globally" and "Every voice matters" in protest of.
I think that's what I'm thinking of when your like one of your company's values is "Every voice matters."
Yeah,
and then well, let's get to their statement, I guess, which was released like first early this morning.
Oh yes, so I've got that.
So Blizzard have actually responded now.
Yeah, so
but only after a week long of like protests and weird. It's like if you go to Reddit, the gaming Reddit, there are just memes of people like shitting all over Blizzard.
It's bad. Like
it's
Blizzard
insane.
really took a hammering. But I think during the week I was like, they're never going to back down from this because like they just won't. They've made their move. They've got Chinese interests, so there's no reason for them to make any good on this. So that's what was so surprising by waking up to this news.
The statement.
Let's see. Okay, I'm not going to read the
whole thing. Yeah, it's really long.
Huge.
Yeah, don't read the whole thing. Where is it?
Okay, so I've got it here. So basically, the TLDR of this is they have reinstated the prize winnings for the player in question, which is around $10,000 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They've also reduced his ban and the ban for the casters to only 6 months.
6 months, which is still...
Which is... It's far more than I thought would happen. I don't think Blizzard's off the hook entirely because there's more to say about this stuff going forward. But like, it shows that people had an effect on this.
Yeah.
So I just want to see... There's parts of this statement here. It says, every voice matters, and we strongly encourage everyone in our community to share their viewpoints in many places available to express themselves. However, the official broadcast needs to be about the tournament and to be a place where all are welcome. In support of that, we want to keep the official channels focused on the games, which is...
Yeah, it's
basically saying, have an opinion, just not on our streams.
Yeah, it's funny though, because they say that every voice matters, and we strongly encourage everyone in our community to share their viewpoints in the many places available to express themselves. It's just badly worded, because my immediate thought is, well, this is a platform that was available to him, so he expressed his viewpoint. But then they're like, no, it has to be about the game.
Yeah.
Like,
there's also this line here that says, the specific views expressed by Blitzchung were not a factor in the decision we made. I want to be clear. Our relationships in China had no influences on our decision, which I think is 100% bullshit. Like, there's no fucking way. Like, there's all sorts of things that happen in the games, like racism, sexism, all this, that they do not act on.
Yeah.
But immediately, as soon as
This
it's a Chinese thing, it's like ours and it's acted on. So, I don't believe... Again, and this is what makes this whole statement sour. It's just like, it doesn't seem sincere.
It really doesn't seem sincere at all.
Yeah. Let me see what else. With regards to the casters, remember their purpose is to keep the event focused on the tournament. That didn't happen here, and we are setting their suspension to 6 months.
Okay, I suppose that's why they got banned, because they didn't...
the dude's head under the fucking table. What are they meant to do?
No, but I think what he means is like they should have intervened and be like, hey, like, what are you doing? But I mean, come on,
I don't think it's
a
their
weird
fault,
thing.
really.
Yeah.
I really do not. Anyway, so I don't think it's the end of the story. I think there's
lots to come still.
There's a lot in that statement that will be picked apart. And there's also the fact that, like, Epic's Tim Sweeney came out and said, we will never ban our players for doing something like this. So other companies are taking pot shots. Riot has already come out and said, you should not express political views on our League of Legends stuff.
Riot, 100% owned by Tencent.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
But it's just sad because this is my immediate thing as well. So when Steam's still great, don't get me wrong, but Valve, when they were in their heyday, it was Half-Life 2 and then Left 4 Dead 2 and then all these games. I like worship Valve. Like, they can do no wrong. Now I look at Valve, I'm like, they just sell games, which is fine, but they haven't made any games, okay? So, like, I don't idolize them anymore. Okay, rewind, like, back 3 years ago, maybe, to Blizzard. I played all their games. Honestly, the only thing I didn't play was World of Warcraft. So I played Overwatch, I played Heroes of the Storm, played Diablo. What am I missing? StarCraft and Hearthstone. I played all of them.
Yeah.
And honestly, Blizzard were my favorite company. It's just like
you even went to BlizzCon.
I went to BlizzCon, and I'm glad I went to the time I did, because it was, I think, at their heart.
That was the heart. Yeah.
It was their heart, and it was the heart of
you
my
went at
family
the right
for them.
time, yeah.
And it's just over the last year, it feels like the last year and a bit, maybe it feels like there's been some serious missteps on their parts. Like we've touched on the Diablo mobile game,
stuff,
which, like, there's nothing wrong with it, but the way they handled it was just bad. And fans are like, since then, fans have sort of been like, like Blizzard, you know. This is, I don't know, it's like another nail in the coffin.
If you want any indication of that, how bad the messaging was, there are still people that are convinced Diablo 4 isn't being worked on, which like, they said at the event is not the case.
Yeah.
But, like, that's how poor their messaging was around that. Like,
so it's just weird that, so what I'm getting at is Steam was like on this pedestal, no longer. Blizzard was on this pedestal, no longer. Like, you can't be comfortable where you are. You know, you still have to be smart. Doesn't matter how big you are. And it's just, this is just...
Yeah, they've really stepped into it here.
Yeah, this is like a big PR fuck up. So
it's a massive problem. And I mean, they're a company that is beholden to their stakeholders, and of course they have a right to dictate what is and what isn't said on their streams. But at the same time, you know, games as a platform are political because they are the new... I mean, you look at normal sports. You look at Colin Kaepernick, he was the NHL, NFL, the
NFL.
football player,
NFL,
who took the knee during the anthem and started a whole movement around that. And he's like still struggling to be like reintroduced into the sport that he loves, but he stood up for something he believed in. And you got shit for it.
You got a lot
of flack. And like, the sport that loves him, the association that was part of it, turned on him. And it's no different here. But like people who want to, push forward these really altruistic and important political views, like they do it, and I respect him a lot for this.
Yeah. What he did. For sure. But look, so you say Blizzard, they've got every right to, do whatever the hell they want. But my biggest issue is that you can't say one of your company values is that every voice matters. And then in the same breath, silence a person. It's like
100%, yeah.
You're 100% going against yourself, and it just doesn't make sense.
But this shows you more than ever that these companies are all about bottom line.
It's money driven.
It makes all their, like when they're like, oh, we adding like corporate wokeness almost. It's like when they're like, oh, we're adding this character because we understand the social issues around X, Y, and Z. They don't give a fuck. No. And this shows you, especially in Blizzard now, whenever they come forward with something that seems altruistic and, good meaning for the community, it actually just means they're going to garner more money from it, because if that wasn't the case, they wouldn't do it. Yeah. If they weren't going to lose money from this whole debacle, they wouldn't have done anything, and that's all they really care about.
But all that being said, I do think we label Blizzard as a company, which they're an organization, but you can't just assume that every employee has.
Oh no, definitely not.
So I think in everyone's criticism of Blizzard, I don't know,
it's the guys up top.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't think
it's the developers. That's why they had their own internal
makers,
protest about it. And you also got to remember that it's not just Blizzard here; it's their holding company, which is Activision as well. Yeah. And all the shareholders that they are beholden to.
So all I'm getting at is, I suppose, just be careful with who you criticize, because it's not everyone.
Yeah. This is why I'm curious and cautious about BlizzCon this year, is because they're going to be putting developers and community managers on stage. And those are the people that are going to get blasted, and they do not deserve that.
Can I tell you, that's in, 3 weeks' time?
Yep. This could not have come at a worse time for the company.
I worry about it, because honestly, if you're a developer, I work at Blizzard, for example, and then this shit happens, I'm like, oh my God.
I do not want to go on stage.
Now, you go to, I don't know, a dinner party. It's like, who do you work for? Blizzard. Like, oh. I've got nothing to do with their decision, but by association, now, like you say, you're going to have all these developers on stages, and you're going to have angry fans putting them on the spot. Yep. And it's like, guys, just be careful.
It feels unfair to them, because they already have to use this BlizzCon to recover from Diablo Immortal.
Oh my God, yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they get on stage, they're like, fuck it, Diablo 4, and everyone's like, Blitzcrank, who?
Wow.
What? Yeah, Diablo 4, woo! Because, that's how these things roll as well. So yeah. But I'm interested to see where it goes from here. So
goddamn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other news.
Goddamn. Let's fly through other news, yeah. I think, but that was definitely the story of the week.
Which another big thing was Sony basically confirmed that the next console is called PlayStation 5. Shocker.
Oh my God, what?
There was
coming out holiday next year.
Yeah, coming out holiday 2020. They released some new details, like the controller right now that they have isn't too different from the DualShock 4, but it's going to have something called like haptic feedback on triggers, so they can dynamically adjust the resistance of triggers based on something that happens in the game, which sounds like a really cool idea that will be used on a bunch of launch games and never again. When you got the PS Vita, and it was like, hey, you can use this camera on the back to do stuff. Yeah, and Uncharted does some cool shit, and then never again. Yeah.
So, but my immediate thought was that I think the triggers give haptic feedback or something. Which one of the examples was like pulling a bowstring. So it's like Horizon Zero Dawn 2 confirmed. Yeah. It's there.
Or like Last of Us, you're walking through mud and it's like...
No, but that specifically, I'm like, okay, it's going to be a launch title or something out very soon. It's going to use that mechanic. We can read into that.
And it's just never going to use it again, because I don't see developers unless if Microsoft comes out with a controller that is like, yeah, we've got that too, then cool. Third-party games have a reason to support it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, why the fuck would they support it?
Yeah.
And Microsoft's already said all peripherals on this current generation will work on Project Scarlet, because they're releasing that new Elite controller, and it's like, well, it would be shit if in 6 months that thing's redundant. I don't know.
Interesting.
So that's cool. There's a lot of cool nitty-gritty details about the PlayStation 5 on Wired. They do a deep dive on a bunch of stuff, so feel free to suss that out. Mike Ybarra leaves Microsoft and Xbox.
Who was Mike Ybarra?
So he was corporate vice president for Xbox. We saw him on stage at Gamescom.
Okay.
And I think this is just because last week Sean Layden left Sony, now Mike Ybarra leaves, and there were a lot of people from Sony also leaving now. I think this is not a case to get worried. I think it's just like, hey, we're gearing up for a new console launch.
Yeah, I think that... Where did I read that?
You're in for the long haul or you're not in right now.
So people are like, I don't want to stick around for 6-7 years.
Exactly.
So
and
time to get out now.
And these are like, Sean Layden had been at Sony since 1988 or something like that. And Mike Ybarra's been at Xbox for, I think, 20 years as well. So
Sean Layden, 30 years.
You know, it's like, if you're going to make a change, you do it now, not in the middle of a console generation. So I think that's just the case of what's happening.
Yeah.
Google Stadia says that Stadia games will be faster and more responsive than playing locally soon by essentially using like algorithms to predict your inputs, which is used in a lot of online games already, and it's still nowhere near as good as native inputs, so they can talk shit all they want. Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to PC. I think we spoke about that last week. But it's going to be 150 gigs on PC.
It's massive. Oh, and what?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare, 175 gigs. Huge.
The guys buy bigger hard drives.
Yeah,
What can I say? Cheat suck.
There's a new Pokemon coming to Pokemon
Galarian
Shield,
Ponyta.
the garbage version of that game, because Sword all the way. A Galarian Ponyta. It looks cute. It looks like its hair is made of candy floss.
You can eat that Pokemon.
So beautiful. So beautiful. I love it.
God damn.
What else? Oh, Hitman, the Hitman studio, IO Interactive.
Yeah.
They've teamed up with Warner Brothers to create a brand new IP, which is awesome. I really want to see what a new
Batman.
Not Batman, not a new Hitman, but fuck, I want to see what that is.
That's cool.
The Nintendo Switch has sold over 10 million units.
It's sold 10 million euros.
It sold 10 million EUs. It sold 10 million units in the EU alone, which is pretty cool.
Cyberpunk, Pokemon.
What else?
Oh.
Dead Space 2 stuff, nonsense. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Doom Eternal got delayed.
Oh yeah.
To March 2020.
To March.
Yeah.
You thought? This actually leads into one of our first listener questions. But
let's get into that. If you want to send us questions, bit of a yawn there.
Yeah.
If you want to send us questions, at Checkpoint Chat on Twitter, DM's open. Facebook.com/Checkpoint Chat.
So much of questions.
Or checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com. People are emailing us. I love it.
All of the emails. You even have one on Instagram.
Oh, we also got an Instagram at Checkpoint Chat.
Just normal. At Checkpoint Chat, yeah.
Matty controls
Checkpoint
that
Chat, I do. I share daily memes. Go like and subscribe.
The memes are good.
I only share high quality memes.
The Kirby Doctor one's still the best. I fucking love that meme so much.
Okay, we're gonna fly through questions because we have a lot from Megs. So I'm on a deadline today.
Yeah, Maddie's got to attend
my godchild's school concert.
It's very cute.
I'm gonna fly. So on Instagram we've got my friend Cello Zeta. He says, Do you feel that a thick or thin plaster is best for gaming when you cut your thumb or finger?
Thick.
Really? Okay, so let me give you a story.
Ooh, ow. That looks sore.
So I'm making dinner on Thursday. Have you ever opened a tin? And
yes.
Sometimes you don't get all the way around. There's a little piece of metal there. So in my head, okay, I did that. Okay, so I didn't get all the way around, and I tried to pry open the remainder. In my head, I even thought this is how people get stupid cuts in their fingers, and I still did it, and I cut my thumb. Okay, pretty badly. Now this is about an hour before I'm about to start streaming Mario Maker on Thursday. So I bandaged the shit out of my thumb, and it was very hard to play Mario Maker because it was super thick. Okay, so I couldn't really feel the buttons, and then now if you imagine the Switch, the Joy-Con, like the analog's in the way. So eventually I took the bandage off, and the bleeding had stopped, and I put a plaster on, and I could play fine. So thin plaster definitely all the way.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, but it is a bad cut. I mean, you can still see I've got the plaster off now. It doesn't hurt though, but
I cut my thumb the other day pretty badly. It was a while ago though. On one of those, those like flatbed potato slices. So you like go you just like back and forth. And I went, and the potato got stuck on the first blade.
Oh no!
And kept on. And just went.
Oh my god!
I just bled for hours.
Oh, that sounds painful.
It's not fun. Not fun.
Okay, over on email, we have a question from Malesh who says, "Hey guys,
what's up, Malesh?
I was greeting from
right?
down under, yeah.
Oi.
says, I was thinking about all the amazing titles coming out in 2020, and I was wondering what it would be like for owners of base Xbox and PS4 consoles. I have this concern that with next gen around the corner, new games will now be compatible on 3 systems: base, pro, X, and next gen. So heavyweights like The Last of Us 2 and Cyberpunk will likely run like ass on the base consoles, run okay on the pro, and run best on the next gen. So far, we've already seen poor performance in base consoles for Control, and I feel it's only going to get worse. Do you think these new titles will effectively force us to upgrade, or do you think devs like CD Projekt Red and Naughty Dog will do a good job making games at scale well? Or should these devs just avoid bullshitting us and just say the new shiny title's PS5 Scarlet exclusive?
Yeah, we're at the tricky point between like console generations where they're hitting the peaks of what the current generation consoles can do, but like, you know, we're so close to new ones that we don't know, you know, if it will run better on there, especially with Xbox talking about, hey, everything's going to be backwards compatible. Funnily enough, Sony is like very cagey on that thing.
Yeah.
They aren't outright confirming backwards compatibility. They're saying we're still looking into it, which is like, my dudes, if you launch a new console without backwards compatibility, it's going to be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
like,
not cool.
That's ridiculous. So, I don't know. I think having a base console now is still tough. I mean, you've got a base console.
I've got a base one. Yeah, so
it still manages.
So I want to touch on that, and that's in terms of exclusives, I think we should be fine.
Yeah, generally exclusives are fine.
Like when I played God of War, that isn't a base PS4, and I honestly was gobsmacked that it ran as well as it did on a base PS4. They optimized the shit out of it. So I honestly think that with The Last of Us 2, of course it's going to be better on the Pro, but I really do think they're going to do everything they can to make it a good experience on the base as well.
I hope so. I really do.
As for Cyberpunk, like that's a third party now. I don't know to what extent they're going to optimize. And to be quite honest, when we saw Cyberpunk for the first time, we all thought it was going to be a next gen game.
Yeah, I'm still
the fact that it's running on this gen, I almost want to wait for, you know, it's going to release. Like I won't wait because obviously I'll play it on PC. I mean that's probably the safest bet in that regard. But if I only had means to play it on a console, I'd almost wait for the inevitable next gen port or whatever.
And I do think we are going to get to that point where it's just like when the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro came out, all these games that had come out just beforehand suddenly got like, oh, we've got Pro patches.
We've got updates.
And I think it'll be
the same thing.
That's what's going to happen if they are backwards compatible, you know. That will happen with the new consoles. And if they're not backwards compatible, you're going to get the remastered version, like Last of Us Remastered on PS4 came out like a year after it was out on PS3. Yeah. So it's a tough spot to be in now. I think this is the worst time to buy new hardware. Yeah. Like if you're on a base console, do not run out and buy a Pro.
No, just wait.
Like, just wait.
Rather save that money and buy the next gen.
Yeah, buy next gen, buy a nice TV for next gen or whatever.
I've started saving. It's possible. You just put away a little bit. So let's say the PlayStation 5 comes out a year from now, or you want the next Xbox, Project Scarlet. So, okay, I know Malaysia in Oz, so you'll save X amount of dollars. But me, for example, I've started putting away 500 Rand a month. In a year's time, I'll have 6 grand, which might not cover the whole cost, but it'll make a dent on whatever that cost is.
Yeah.
So
it would be silly to buy anything new now, but I do think it's next year's going to be strange. With regards to, things are running poorly here, we're waiting. I mean, you've got to remember that next year the new consoles are almost 7 years old. That hardware is old.
Yeah.
It's pushing stuff like that it shouldn't be pushing. So, yeah.
Goddamn. Okay, so Megs, we're going to do one of your questions this week. We'll save the rest for next week.
Says, got to fly.
Dear Colonial Parting Cooties.
Wow.
I currently have a 7-year-old audio video setup. 7-year-old audio/video setup. Okay. With the release of the soon-to-implode PlayStation 5 with the for sure recommended spec of 4K, the TV definitely has to be replaced. But should I replace the amp with a 5.1 4K HDR compatible amp or move to a 2.0, 2.1 soundbar? Or simply stay with what I have? No. Using optical out, meaning lower bandwidth audio.
So I've got first-hand experience on soundbars, and I will 100% say stay away from them.
Oh, yeah? Not good?
Absolutely terrible. Yeah.
Go down.
So I bought a soundbar, which I researched for ages because, like, I get really obsessive over those things. And I was like, okay, I found the one that works for me. It's got 2 HDMI ports, so I can pass through audio there. They pass through HDR. It's got ARC, so I can connect it to my TV and control everything from there. It's Samsung, so it's the same brand as my TV, whatever. Get it, hook it all up. First thing, find out that it passes through HDR, but because of the way the pass-through is set up, it doesn't pass through correct RGB when it's not in HDR.
I know.
So that's like a big problem. So then if I want to bypass that and get back to my RGB color spectrum, I have to connect all my inputs to my TV and then use ARC on the soundbar to get it working. Then there's an audio delay because ARC has no definitive standards, so it doesn't work correctly. So it's like, well, if I want uncompressed audio, then I have an audio delay. Or I can use optical, then I'm just using compressed audio. Why did I buy the soundbar?
So stay away, mix, basically.
I then ended up getting a Yamaha sound system, which has 4K ports. All of them pass through HDR, 5.1 speaker system. It is much better. So
nice. I
will 100% recommend an amp route where you can pass everything through the amp. And then you have uncompressed audio. You've got all your inputs into one place. It's way, way, way better. Yeah.
Surprise.
And actually not as expensive as you think it is. That setup was for all 5 speakers and the amp and everything was $7,000.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad.
Stay with what you have. Keep what you have.
Yeah. Put more money into a TV.
Yeah, put that cash.
LED TVs are getting cheaper, and hell yeah, I'm excited about that.
I'll still need a new screen one day. But we're going to cut off the questions there because unfortunately we're done for time this week. Oh
my god,
I've got to fly. So let's wrap up.
Yeah, if you want to send questions, all the checkpoint things that I mentioned earlier.
Like and subscribe.
Thanks for listening.
We have a new Instagram page. Go like it.
Oh yeah, you should. Matty puts a lot of work into it.
Guys, all our social platforms, go like stuff.
Make Matty happy.
Make me happy. Show me their metrics. Be like, yes.
Analytics.
all them numbers.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.